Yo, around the Comiverse episode 62. We got Queen Veve, Crypto Rain, and the real Randy Chavez. Woo! Here we go, guys. Here we go. So I think I wanted to open this up by just talking about BitForex because I know that's on everyone's mind. And a lot of people have got their OMI stuck on there, or they can't buy more OMI now. It's a bit of an issue. Randy, you had a couple of screenshots you said you want to go through?
Yeah, so that's I guess you have some people. I won't do that yet. All right, there's a couple people saying, "Hey, I'm not trying to FUD, but this BitForex exchange situation is concerning." BitForex does hold about 8% of the circulating supply, so even if a fraction of that is dumped on the market at these lows, it could be bad. Or am I just delusional? Dr. Profit swiftly responds saying, "Well, the worst case scenario that, despite better judgment, a BitForex employee starts to dump, which is actually not easy because the exchanges won't credit them. The police would show up, and after that, they would just go to jail. But the medium and most likely scenario is insolvency, where 8% of the OMI token is locked up for 1 to 2 years, which that is horrible for the people that have their stuff on there and are looking to sell, at least in their minds in the short term. For them and for us, I think it was actually a good thing because this way people don't panic sell, and I guarantee you that OMI is worth a lot more 1 year from now than it is right now. So it's probably good for them in the long run, even though short term they're definitely not happy.
I mean, like it's almost like there's almost like the biggest burn we've ever had, right? Unfortunately, a lot of that is OMI homies, but 22 billion OMI. That's what was on the exchange.
Yeah. Is that OMI homies? I mean,
not 22 billion. Maybe 1 billion or less is OMI homies. The other 21 billion is just exchanges liquidity, right? Which is 8% of all of the OMI supply. So there's good and bad with this because we're unlikely to see those tokens for at least another year. So it's sort of almost burnt for this bull run for now. I mean, hopefully people get their OMI back. We've been talking about cold storage for a long time. Economy put out heaps of articles of cold storage. I do feel for the people that have their OMI locked on there. I had a similar situation yesterday with Ascendex. I was using Ascendex and I had a large transaction get stuck for 4 or 5 hours, and I was just pooping my pants. So it's not fun at all. So I really feel for them.
Same. There was this guy Zach XBT, who's got about 500,000 followers on Twitter. He was saying that the wallet for BitForex shows outflows of 56.5 million. And again, Dr. Profit coming in, the detective saying, "I don't see any evidence that the teller token came from BitForex, so you can subtract about 53 million from your calculation." And I'm not sure if this person did that just for the headline, saying, "Oh, there's 56.5 million that has been outflowed," or if this person was just happened to be uninformed about it. But it seems to me that 53 million, you could just take off that, and it was likely only a couple million after.
Yeah. Wes actually said something really interesting. He said FTX is refunding people at the face value of their crypto at the time of the insolvency. If that was the case, people get their OMI value back at this price, which unfortunately is quite low. So even if OMI's done even if OMI's done a 10x or 20x by then, they'll only get the value of what it is right this
moment. Oh, damn, that's a good.
And then Bill Garner said Celsius did the same as well.
Yeah, that will possibly be the way it goes, right? So there's a lot of information we don't know, and so some of this is informed speculation on what's going down. But I'd say the chances are pretty strong that it's not going to go very well. Like I have a 17 million OMI on BitForex. That sucks. We're dealing in shark-infested waters in crypto. And the reason why we're in shark-infested waters is because there's all kinds of gold here. But there are all kinds of sharks, and they come in every shape and size. Like I thought a lot of the exchange insolvencies were done with now that the market was going up. There's always any exchange can get hacked, like Coinbase could get hacked, have enough stolen that they're then insolvent. And then you find out that your money on the exchange isn't really yours. You have a claim on it, but it isn't really yours. So it sucks what's going on. Not just for me, but for a lot of people. A lot of the rainmakers have OMI, and they were forced to get it through BitForex because there wasn't a lot of exchange options, and some pulled it off and some hadn't pulled it off yet. And so they've got it stuck on there, and it sucks. And will we get it back? Probably not in the form that we would like to anyway, which we'd rather just get our tokens off. And I don't know that it's going to happen that way.
So, Randy, how much did you say you had on there? 17 million?
Yeah, I had 17 million.
Oh,
That
that's
I had just
painful.
picked up, right? So when it
Yeah.
had gone down, I had picked up a bunch and I was waiting to move it off till I was actually going to accumulate more before then moving it all off together. And BitForex seems like they got hacked out of nowhere. They didn't anticipate. I didn't anticipate it. This kind of stuff happens.
Oh, that sucks. So you
Yeah,
still
at the
got
beginning of the
more.
bear market or beginning of bull market, you don't expect. You figure everyone that survived this far is likely going to flourish, but then, oof.
100%. Yeah, I didn't expect any exchanges to go down now. So, Rain, you've still got more OMI somewhere else, right?
Oh,
Cold
yeah.
storage.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, at least that's not your full bag, because I know some people had 100% of their bag on the exchange, and that's harsh. It's very harsh.
On the other end is how do I buy now? I was buying Bitcoin through Cash App and sending it to BitForex. You do it a bunch of different ways. I would say if you like Jordan said, if you had a VPN, you can go through a Sendex, or if you do have Coinbase, just get a Coinbase wallet, just an extension. Go and buy some Ethereum on Coinbase, send it to your wallet, and then as soon as you do that, you could just swap directly for OMI. Be advised if you want to go and send about $100 worth of ETH and swap that, it'll be like $20-ish in gas. But if you go and you swap like 2,500 worth, it'll be like $30 in gas. So generally, the more you spend or the more you swap, the lesser percentage the gas fees are. Trust wallet, as long as you don't connect it to anything, it can be. You can keep on a device that's not on the internet. You can keep it on a device. Like you can go and just buy like a $50 cell phone from a kiosk. Go and download Trust Wallet, do that whole thing, put it on there, and then just disconnect it to the internet forever. Other people that have it on their phones or tablets or whatever, as long as you don't connect it to anything like a MetaMask, you don't store NFTs on there, and you don't click any suspicious links. As long as you just keep that specifically for storage, it should be okay. But ledgers and treasures are typically just a slight notch above that. And the Economy Secure Wallet is probably somewhere in between.
Yeah, and I'll just say I use a Ledger, and the Ledger Live software they've got now it's got a lot better. It's improved heaps over the years, and I definitely recommend a Ledger. But I mean, I know they had that that online recovery thing. It's an opt-in feature, so you don't have to worry too much about them. Maybe Ledger have a backdoor anyway, but I don't know. I like the Ledger. It's worked well for me.
Yeah,
What do
that
you think,
smells
Ryan?
of backdoor. If you can opt in and stuff, then somebody could then probably opt in for you and just like there's a backdoor. What they're saying is that backdoor is super secure and locked, and you don't have to worry about it until you do.
Yeah.
There's a backdoor there. There shouldn't be a backdoor there.
Yeah, it might be like a hardware thing though. That you actually have to do a hardware update before that happens. I'm not 100% sure. But what do you use, Ryan? Do you use Ledger?
So I know Tangem I think is the way to go.
Tangem. Okay.
Tangem's been around for about 4 or 5 years. They've caught a lot of traction the last year and a half as people realized that Ledger built in a backdoor and wasn't telling anybody and was kind of denying it until kind of they indirectly admitted to it. So Tangem, good wallet. So a lot of that came from some of my Rainmaker family on the Discord that they really kind of dug in and researched this and figured out what are the pros and cons of all the different ones. Seems like the consensus is Tangem is the best.
It's got a screen on that one?
No. So it connects to your phone.
Okay. Yeah.
So it runs different than the ledgers and the treasures.
Yeah. Yeah. And Queen Veve, do you guys have a cold storage solution for your crypto?
Yeah, we do have it elsewhere, but we did have some on the exchange. We had about 4 million on the exchange.
Ooh, BitForex? BitForex?
Yeah. And really, I talked to Randy, I think I talked with Randy about this last night. It was just something for practicality and mobility. Ease of if that's the market starts to go, you want to be able to do it fast and do it liquid, and that's the risk. It wasn't by any means like I haven't heard not your keys, not your crypto. That was not the reason it was sitting there. It was sitting there more strategically, for for use, for use and for trading. I think the most disappointing thing though is that's our only option. You know,
Yeah.
in this case that you know we felt we had, he felt he had to leave it on there for that reason because, that was really the only game in town. So, but once again, it's a Wild West. It was known, it was a calculated risk, and sometimes you win, and sometimes you don't. Because when we were trying to dump Pepe, it was, oh my Lord, it was like trying to get it there when everything was running up. And when you were getting the max price, it was, it was impossible. So, then by the time it happened, it was already down, whatever X. So, yeah, it's crypto, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And the truth is, if you had it all on, say, a MetaMask and you clicked on the wrong thing, you could have it all drained there. There's different risks and there's different sharks trying to take your money, right?
Yeah, crypto is a dangerous game. There's so many scams and hacks and ways to lose it. You got to be very careful and do your research. And yeah, if anybody has their crypto on a Sendex, I'd still recommend taking it off cold storage. Like Randy said, a trust wallet on a mobile phone you don't use much, and you can just leave the Wi-Fi off on it. And when the Wi-Fi is off and it's not on the internet, that mobile's it's basically like cold storage. Like there's not much difference.
I mean, even if you have, like, people used to have home telephones hooked to their, even if it's like a home thing that you only use for like your kids games or whatever, and it's I mean, the way you would hack would not really be to try to hack the device. It would just be to go and send, that Trojan horse, hoping you click on it. I don't think anyone really goes and tries to hack via just the Wi-Fi signal.
Cool.
They
Thanks,
do,
Jason, for the kind words there. So honest attitudes, admirable, thick skin. Yeah. It's tough. We've most of us here have experienced loss of crypto in some way or another, and obviously Rain and Laurie both had a decent amount of OMI on the exchange.
I just realized that number wasn't 17 million; it was 30 million.
Ooh,
that's juicy.
Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah, I thought I had moved some more over someplace else. I just double checked it. I hadn't yet. So it's like,
and Rain, how are you?
I had the 17 million plus like another 15 million or so that I already had.
Ouch.
So we'll see. I'll probably get that in 2 years at today's value. So I'll probably get like to 25,000 maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. And Rain, how are you dealing with
that OMI will be worth like 250, 2.5 million, something like that. So it's time for me to buy more OMI.
Yes, yeah. I would say, Rain, I know you made a lot of gains last month. How are you dealing with the fluctuations? Because I know some of the stuff you're in has gone up and down, and you're obviously making a lot of money now with crypto. That means the fluctuations up and down are significant. I've gone up and down $100,000 in the last 30 days, and I think for you it must be almost times 10, that sort of thing. And obviously to the downside is a bit different to the upside. How are you dealing with that? Does it affect you at all?
No, like I'm like personally. So yeah, I had a pretty good month this last month. My portfolio went up by 4 million. I'd like that to happen more often, but so then it's come down some since then. Cool. Like it just fluctuates like that. But like what I'm waiting for is down the road, and down the road is when the things go crazy. So I did take out some initial, and I took out a fraction of my initial. In some ways, it's actually my full initial. I put it in stable coins off of an exchange. But like a lot of that I'm just leaving out there because what we're looking for is when the bull run comes in. And for people that just lost some money on OMI, like it sucks being in this point that we're at right now. But I remember last bear market, and this was the first bull run that I was prepared for, was 2021. And I remember coming out of the bear market and just all these hopes, and there would be little things that like still hit you and things that went wrong, and it sucked. But what I was hoping would happen was what later happened, which is the full bull run when things just went crazy. Now, keep in mind, in the bear market, I was still new. I was still learning how to do crypto, even though I had 20 years investment experience. And I only had a 35% success rate, but still my portfolio 25x from what I put in, or 100x from the full bottom of the bear market. And so like that's what we're waiting for. That has not yet happened. And so if you were diversified, even if all of your OMI is now locked up and you may get today's value 2 or 3 or 5 years down the road from now, that sucks. But what you're waiting for has not happened, which is down the road in the coming 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months. And as long as you have some diversification there, like you're going to benefit. Like I just bought a little bit more OMI today, like 1.2 million. I'm looking to pick up everything I lost and more. You know, I'm diversified enough that, yeah, I can do that. Did I want to have to do that? No. But I wanted to have, you know, at least 80 million OMI, if not far, far more. And so I'm like, crap, now I'm 30 million down from what I wasn't even happy with before. How do I start getting that back? Because I have a strong feeling what OMI is going to do. And what's coming for us in the bull run is ahead of us still. And so some people have experienced like 15x on a few things, like Myriad did about 15x. And that's cool. If you bought it when I was covering it, I'm like, this is too low, could break down lower, but this is an amazing price. Went about 15x from there and you've experienced a 15x, you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's nothing compared to what we'll experience. Some of what you're in, if you're well diversified, might 150x over a 3-month period. And some might only do 40x and you'll feel like, oh, that one did terrible. Right now, you would kill for a 40x. So what is coming is what we're looking forward to. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And it will erase like some of the losses that you had, because I remember this time in the bear market and I had still some losses and some things collapsed. And I was like, oh, it hurts so bad. I don't know if I'm going to reach my goals. And what happened when the bull run hit? And this last bull run was kind of weird and somewhat muted, and still it vastly exceeded what I thought was even possible. And that's only with a 35% success rate. So hopefully you've gotten better than I was back then, and you have a better than 35% success rate. But what you're waiting for has not happened yet. And when it does, if you're still in the crypto space and you're diversified, you're going to see some massive, massive gains.
Speaking of that, Rain, you said you bought a little bit more. Glenn Miller's asking where to buy OMI now. Obviously not BitForex, and what's the most simplistic way?
Well, you can buy it on Uniswap. That's not the easiest way. For those that are outside the US, you have access to gate.io. There's a Sendex. There aren't a crap ton of options, right?
I think
there will be more in the
biggest.
future, I'm sure, but there aren't right now. And the Comey team hasn't prioritized getting on more exchanges. And it hadn't really been a problem because, like, if you were in the US and used BitForex, you could use a VPN, use BitForex, and you'd be able to, like, use BitForex and get it. Now you can only really use Coinbase Wallet, which is really using Uniswap's liquidity, I believe. And so, or you can use Uniswap directly. And so now your options are limited. So it makes sense that they'll probably prioritize getting on more exchanges a lot higher now. And hopefully, you know, down the road, hopefully they're on something as big as Coinbase. But do keep in mind, something like this could happen to Coinbase. It would take a more sophisticated hack, and hackers, North Korea has teams dedicated to this kind of stuff. Even something like Coinbase, this could happen to. So just realize that we are still in shark-infested waters, and bad things can happen. If you keep all your eggs in one basket, you might lose all your eggs in one thing happening to that one basket.
Randy, we had a question for you as well about OMI. What do you think is happening with OMI in the next 2 or 3 months? You still very positive about it?
Yeah, I guess I'll say this live. When I had before this happened, about like a week or so ago, getting back from Ohio, I was like, hey guys, I don't know what announcements that Veve or Comey are going to have. And we were at like 001 at this time. I said, you likely have like a month or so before it doubles. We are about, I'd say, 10 days away from that. It was supposed to be like another 2 weeks, but I would say about 10 days now. That's not including anything that Veve and Comey have planned. Mr. MC1 has been very, very vocal about some big announcement happening in March. Not 100% sure what that is. We can speculate all we want. Comey had reshared that article about 3 or 4 days ago, where they had said, oh, hey, we have accessibility to the token that we're working on. We have utilities that we're working on as well. So I don't know if we get OMI to NFT or we get OMI to a bronze ticket first before we get the exchange, or vice versa. it seems like that next exchange would have been BitGet, and it still might be, just because when you had that, some detectives tracked that wallet, like, okay, $80,000 worth of OMI came from a wallet that had about 30 billion in it, and that to me sounds like the Comey Business Development wallet, and 80,000 is about what they had needed for BitGet for their Type A exchange for listing. And I mean, just with the volume alone, we'll probably get to, I would say, 002. The only way we don't is if my friends find a way to go and buy OTC, where if there's some big whale, some big wallets that's willing to sell them 500,000, that's fine. We won't really pump the price. But if they don't, and we have to go through Coinbase wallet or whatever we have, because we don't have much choice as Americans, expect 002 in like 10 to 14 days, 10 to 12 days. So, but awesome. Either 2 to 3 months. I mean, in 2 to 3 months, I fully expect this to be 003, if not higher.
I'm cool with that.
A lot more utility.
I'm cool with that. And it's interesting because obviously there's less selling pressure and less buying pressure now about BitForex, because I think it was one of the largest drivers of volume. I think it was about 40 to 50% volume. It's very, very high up there.
Yeah.
I just want to point out this guy. I don't know how you say it, just P something. He's the one who lost 30 million from BitForex. And, he's had an expensive lesson, but he still has around the same amount on cold storage on his ledger. So at least he hasn't lost all of it. That sucks. He worked a part-time job for 1.5 years to save up for the 30 million OMI.
Mm.
So, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I feel like the what's his name in Viceroy Gunray in Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, where they're trying to close these blaster doors on these Jedi, and they're using their lightsabers, and it's like, it's still coming through. These green candles just keep, these buy orders still keep coming through on OKX for 00088, and it's, I think now that the BitForex thing is more or less solved, the insolvency issue, people are like, okay, and then we're kind of getting an idea of what's going to happen with that OMI, or what's not going to happen with it for a while. Buy orders have resumed.
Yeah, I don't think it's and the OMI hasn't moved, right? The OMI is all still in the exact same place it was in BitForex, so it's just sitting there. It's not going anywhere. All the other tokens pretty much were taken out of there. We don't know where they went. So it's more than likely the OMI is just going to sit there, not doing anything for about 1 to 2 years. Probably a loss for this bull run, but hopefully people like Rain and Laurie get their at least some value back eventually. Might be time for next bear market, so you can look at it as a positive in that way. But it's very hard to look at this as a positive.
That's true. That's true. If we get the cash equivalent to what it is, the value now in the coming bear market, it will still be higher than it is now, but it will be some consolation. Getting those funds during a bear market, gives you some cash. It sucks, but there's nothing good about this. The only positive outcome is that they find the hackers, return the funds, BitForex becomes solvent. The chance of that happening are slim. And so I just being around for a while, this doesn't usually end well when something like this happens with an exchange, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So did the hackers take everything but the OMI? Is that what you got?
Yeah, they didn't want to touch the OMI. They're like,
Wait, seriously?
They would have had 100,000 murder hornets after their asses across the world, right?
So
They're like, don't touch the OMI. Those guys are rabid.
Yeah.
But left the OMI there.
Yeah, they just said screw the OMI. We don't need the OMI. They took USDT and Bitcoin and all the big ones, even some smaller ones. I think they took IMX and some other stuff, but they just did not touch the OMI.
That is.
It would be much harder for them to liquidate the OMI without being tracked, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Thanks for the shout out, Jaco.
Yeah, look at that Bitcoin. It might reach 55 at some point.
Yeah, Bitcoin's flying, guys. It broke the $53,000 resistance. So that's where a whole bunch of shorts were. So the shorts have obviously been liquidated. So I think Bitcoin's gonna. I said it last week, right? I said I think we're gonna hit a new all-time high with Bitcoin before the halving, and it looks like I'm on track for that, right? A few more pumps like this. Yeah.
There's so many people making a lot of money. Like Jordan, you were talking about AI coins yesterday when we were talking about
yeah. Oh man, I'm
bumper
up
team.
18,000 on one of them. Yep, go for it.
Me and Lori had a Lori. We can't see your face. You're a little, there you go. Me and
You go
me and
invisible.
Lori were talking to Turtle Golf yesterday, and we were talking about AI a little bit. Have you guys messed around with Sora or anything outside of Google's AI? Because Google's AI is pretty trash.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT all the time. It's really good, really good.
Oh, but I mean, like for not just like for answering stuff, like for hey, build me a scene with and Laura, I'm not gonna go there. Build me a
Thank
scene
you.
with like our favorite baseball player hitting a home run, you know, and make it like a comic book.
Well,
And they'll do it.
in Mid-Journey, I use it all the time. Like I use it for all the thumbnails and everything. I use it for our bumper interview thumbnail as well. So Mid-Journey is quite advanced. Sora, no one can access yet. That's totally internal. Sora is going to change the world. Like Hollywood don't know what they're doing. You know, a whole bunch of movie studios have just like they've just like fired everyone, and they're in the middle of transitioning because they're like, wow, we can see what Sora's going to do. It's going to cost $1 billion to make this movie. Let's use Sora and maybe spend $100 million and save $900 million on production. So it's going to change the world.
I mean, you have different ways that people can go and build their VVverse home spaces with that. Just saying like, what up, cool Mo? Just saying like, oh, let's build this, and then whatever AI builds, you can just build in your VVverse, and
that's totally possible. Totally possible. It's smart enough that you could tell it, okay, I want a really cool design. I want to make a DeLorean spiral up in a circle. Can you do that just to the DeLoreans? And it'll grab all your DeLoreans, it'll stack them all in a beautiful looking spiral that would normally take a human like hours to do. Right? It's definitely totally possible. And David Hughes already talked about putting ChatGPT into some of the characters in Vverse. If he can get something like ChatGPT or something close to that can actually interact with your collectibles and help you arrange them, that would make things really cool, really fast.
Whole coin.
What's this? After halving,
What's
get a
some of
whole
these comments?
Yeah.
Jacob
really likes Bitcoin.
Whenever I see someone
There's your
laugh,
reading glasses, Rain.
No.
Was this for I Love Golf? 3 Saturdays in life: taxes, death, and Rain hitting us with the glasses.
Yeah, it's an inside joke that goes way back, and few people get it, but that's cool.
Well, okay.
One time somebody told me to put the glasses on, and he said it in like a super demeaning way, and I was like, fuck you. No. And, so I love golf. I don't know. Ever since then, it's like, I was like, look, I don't have a boss. You don't get to tell me what to do because you were definitely not my boss. I fired my boss in 2021. Crypto allows you to do that. Cool. But like, I don't have to answer to somebody's opinion like that. But then golf always brings up the glasses in a kind way.
He loves it. He loves it. He does. What was this one? Economy responsible for people losing their OMI? No. Look, it's not really Economy's fault, other than we could have, if we had 30 exchanges, the dilution of OMI would be a lot higher. That's like the biggest argument, right? But other than that, it's not Economy's fault that BitForex went down. And
it's not Economy's fault for other people that are keeping it on there. And I know that's a super sore subject right now. But it's just
Randy, you've got to stop saying that. You're getting a lot of hate, a lot of haters.
Well, one of the weird things we do in life is we want to project responsibility onto others rather than taking it ourselves. But it is a way to short circuit your own success by projecting the responsibility onto others rather than just owning it yourself. Because when you own all the responsibility for everything that goes wrong in your life, then you start fixing it. When you just project it onto others, you don't address it because it's not your fault. You're just a victim here. And so victimhood, like when I hear people blaming Economy for that, what I'm really hearing is I'm a victim. I have no future in my life because I don't take enough responsibility to make stuff happen. And victimhood destroys a lot of people's otherwise bright future. So take as much ownership as you can. That's the only way you're going to make yourself great, to make what you can do great, to add enough value to your own life and others that everyone wants to be around you, everyone wants to be with you, and everyone wants to have what you have because you accomplished great things. Why? Because you took enough ownership to make it possible. So take more ownership in your life, not less. Do I blame Comey for me losing money on BitForex? No. No. Do I wish they were on more exchanges than that? Yes, I understand that it wasn't super high priority. They're juggling a lot of different things. Do I wish it would have happened? Sure. Cool. But oh well, and I could have moved that off at any time, and I chose to have my risks the way they were. And then, well, crap, that egg or the eggs in that basket, probably I might not see back. I get that. It sucks.
I would agree with you, Ryan, 100%. The only caveat that I would add to that would, I think, sour some people is the fact that for quite a few years now, when our exchange is coming soon. We're not really a utility. Soon. Oops, I forgot to sign the FTX agreement the week before they went insolvent. Good, so I do think there is some frustration in the timing that it has taken and the message delivered on what is soon, and just like I said, the constant we're getting exchanges next year, resent about it multiple times, coming soon, and that has been going on for a while. So that would kind of be,
well, it is like pouring salt on your wound, right? And
yeah,
so it's an opportunity. Like, people could project the blame onto Veve, because could they have done better? Sure. Is it Vive's fault any one of us had money on BitForex? No. And here's the thing, like, do you want a better future or not? Because if you want a better future, just take full ownership. Yes, we could lay some of the blame at their feet, but that would hurt us. That would hurt our ability. When we take full ownership, we improve the decisions we make in the future. And so, just like, it's a decision I made a long time ago in my life, just to take as much ownership as possible, because I'm the only one I can change. And it sucks when someone else hurts us. But then, like, I take ownership of, why did I allow that person in my life?
Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm kind of trying. I mean, absolutely, knowing the risk, understanding it, and that you do get, what you get, you do. But, to play the game, you only had one place to play. And yes, that was your risk.
If you're in the US, right?
But my goodness, after, several years, it starts to get like, come on, when can we play over here too? So, once again, full responsibility for it, but part of the frustration is exchanges. And, I don't want us to hide from the audience, completely either, and say, well, take 100% of it. Yes, take 100%, but also know that there's some background in the timing delays.
Yes. So the reason I'm telling people to take 100% of the ownership isn't because they couldn't lay a percentage of that at Comey's feet. They could, but you would be doing yourself a disservice for doing that. So could Veve have done better with that? Yes, they could have. Absolutely. Right. But when you take 100% ownership, that gives you a brighter future, rather than that, because otherwise it puts us kind of in victim mode. In victim mode, we just kind of stall out in our lives. We don't get creative. It destroys our creative juices of how to improve it. Like, we still have something amazing coming. What could happen right now is far worse than what just happened. Because of what just happened, some people are going to go into victim mode, and they're going to be super mad about this. And they're actually going to miss all the opportunities that are coming over the coming 10 months. And the difference between the gains they could have had if they had gone into creative mode are going to far exceed what they potentially lost in BitForex. And so I'm hoping people can see the future of what's still coming and get creative, find ways to take advantage of those opportunities, because they're going to be huge. Yes, I have some losses. There's other people with losses much bigger than me. There's people that don't have the portfolio I have now, because I've been doing this for 7 years and they're brand new, and maybe a third or maybe their whole bag was in this, and that absolutely sucks. What I'm saying is freaking get up and make some shit happen, because you have 10 months. And it sucks. Was it fair it happened to you? No, it wasn't fair. And is it your fault? Like, your MetaMask wallet could have been hacked too if you had put it in MetaMask. Your ledger would have got compromised. And so this stuff happens, like in shark infested waters that we're in. It's like, okay, so what can you do to make something happen and not waste this coming 10 months so that you put yourself in a better position? Because if you take this ride up and get something meaningful out of it, and you take profits, as surely as we'll have a massive bull run, that is always followed by the pendulum swinging too far the other way. We will have another downturn. And when we do, All those gains that you made, if you roll them into that next run up is what's going to change your finance forever. So don't blow this next 10 months because you unfairly got kicked in the nuts. And was it fair to you? No, it wasn't. And it sucks. And could other people have made some things so it wouldn't happen that way? Yes, they could have. The question is whether you're going to dust off, get up, and make something happen. And I hope you do. And some people won't. They will just lay on the ground. This coming 10 months will be completely wasted. And they will regret that massively in the future, too.
I understand. I just don't want people to think that, we all don't understand the frustration, No.
Well, the biggest
I
issue
feel
now,
most bad for those that were new and they're super excited about a Comey and they're in the US. They only had BitForex as an option and they lost 100% of their Comey bag.
Yeah.
That effing sucks.
well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be really hard for people in US now to buy OMI in large quantities. There's not really any real option.
So that's why my guys are asking for an OTC deal because we're going to have to pay a lot in fees and all that on Coinbase Wallet.
Well, so Uniswap's really good, Randy, but
Randy, I might have an option to work something out to help out there. Talk to me after.
Okay, copy that.
Not that I'm going to be selling that.
Rain's dumping on me. That's what I heard.
No.
Rain's dumping.
I'm not selling.
You heard it first.
Freaking, I'm trying to buy a bunch more on me before they do.
So, Randy, you should speak to.
I have 32 million to replace just to get back to where I was, and I just picked up 1.2 million, so I have 30.8 million just to get back to where I was at.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah, it sucks, right? But like I've been bitten by sharks before, is bad or worse than this. Like I lost 8,000 in 2018, which was a bigger percentage of my portfolio. In fact, that was a meaningful percentage of my portfolio, and I was like, oh my gosh, my arm just got bit off. And I had to get up, suck it up, and it sucked, and move forward.
We got Jason saying, ChatGPT, arrange my Marvel Mighties into an epic fight scene, heroes versus villains. That would be so cool. Right?
Great. We do have a little bit of news. I'm not 100% sure if you guys saw this, but this did appear on the Veve app in like a flash yesterday. It is, let me bring up the photo here. Team Parker Digital Collectibles will be the first to sign up to know. So when it drops on 13 March at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Veve. So that is in a couple weeks. And Team Parker, what this is referencing, no, not Peter Parker. It is Joseph Parker, who is a New Zealand professional boxer. If anyone can get in touch with anyone in New Zealand, it's probably David and Dan. He did hold the title for a little while. He's 32 right now. If this is the first foray into sports, I'm ready. This golden boxing glove, I'll do it. I don't know if y'all saw that.
What was that? So it's a boxing match?
Repeat that again.
The last bit.
I don't know how excited I am for Australian boxing, but like,
Did you say he's in Australia?
He's in New Zealand.
Oh, what? Same thing. No.
Did you guys watch the influencer the Ben Armstrong in the
How did that go? I was curious about that.
You gotta watch it. It's good. It's actually really good. It's on Crypto RS's Plus channel. But I bet Ben Armstrong put a short 4-minute summary video of his boxing match in
Nice.
it's kickboxing / MMA. On it was from the Karate Fight Night, but I forgot what it's called, Influencer Fight Club or something that George from Cryptos R Us set up. It's actually really interesting. Like Crow, what's his name? Crypto Crow fought as well. He's huge. He's 7 foot tall. He's massive.
He's massive. Who the hell in the right mind would fight him?
Yeah. So they got this other guy who's very tall, 6'5". Look like a tiny little kid against him.
Because he's not just tall, he's a big man.
Yeah, he's 270 pounds or something like that.
Oh
And so this other guy's 220 pounds, and it looked like he was knocking around a rag doll. So I don't want to give too much away, but I'll just say that these specific crypto influence fights was a really interesting idea. It would be really cool if we could do something like that. So, Randy, can you explain one more time what that is about?
Yeah, sure. So yesterday, and this comes from UT Snakes over on Twitter saying, "Did anyone see this yesterday and know any info about it? Apparently, it was on the login web app, but looks like it isn't there anymore." And that is the Team Parker digital collectibles. It is a golden boxing glove. Hopefully, it's golden boxing gloves and not just one thing. He is a New Zealand professional boxer. He did hold the WBO heavyweight title from 2016 to 2018, so he is a prize fighter. At regional level, he has held multiple heavyweight championships, including WBO Oriental, Africa, and Oceania titles, as well as a whole bunch of these things that I'm not going to list off. He's kind of a big deal in that part of the world, and was in the greater boxing world at large. So
apparently Omi's almost back at 0009. What the heck?
I was not paying attention for a little while because I had some money come in, but got another $500,000 up to 183. Let's go.
Nice.
Randy, tell your friends stop buying.
Randy,
They're not buying yet. They're gonna buy, but very soon.
Yeah. I liked Veve fan Bam makes a good point here, right? My coworker had 6 million OMI, then lost his seed phrase and lost access. He bought 5 million more and left out BitForex because he was scared to lose the seed phrase again. This is hard, difficult stuff, and this is why a lot of the masses are not here, because the difficulty level is high. And I know that phrase, like, not your keys, not your crypto, but a lot of people who get ruined.
so awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. A lot of people get ruined having custody of their own stuff, and they don't know how to store it right, or their house burns down and all their seed phrases are on paper. And it is difficult stuff. We're in shark infested waters, and there are other things trying to, just nature can, mess things up too. So it's like, yes, this is difficult, risky place to be. That's why the returns are so good. And you have to become really savage to be able to really navigate this, to do it right. Because there's a lot of crypto projects that are complete scams. There are a lot of crypto projects that just suck. And so, you're going to become pretty savage if you survive in crypto for 4 or 5 years and hopefully become really, really good. Because I tell people it really will take 5 to 8 years to really make life-changing gains in crypto. And that's if you start doing the right things. Some people don't. And so they're here, they have all that opportunity, and they never make meaningful gains.
Just a quick one to Scott. It's not ideal, but you can keep your seed phrases in a zip file that's encrypted with a password. It's very, very, very hard to crack that. And keep it on a hard drive.
But then where do you keep the password for the encrypted zip file?
What do you mean?
Well, you said you could keep it on an encrypted zip file with a password. Where do you keep the password for that then?
Yeah.
Well, if you use a regular password that you use, that maybe you add an extra letter to the
never
end.
use a password that you. Oh, I feel like everyone over the age of 45 uses the same password for every single
use
device.
one password for everything.
And that is.
But Randy, if it's a random that hacks them, right? It's unlikely they're going to know their random password.
I don't know.
Friend that hacks them all.
Randy, do you know how many passwords I have to remember?
I'm hoping a lot.
No. Well, yes and no. 100 different things I have to log into.
It's good. Yeah.
It's not 1, 2, 3, 4 or anything like
that. It's not the same combination on your luggage.
What's wrong with 1, 2, 3, 4? That's a great.
It's a Spaceballs joke.
Really
it's Lori's favorite movie, Spaceballs.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Anyway, I tell my guys to just write your seed phrase down. Don't take a picture of it. Don't put it in notes. Just write it down. Write it down 2 or 3 times, and put it in a floor safe. Put it in a wall safe. Put it in a safe that no one's getting at unless they have some dynamite.
Or a safe deposit box is even better in the bank.
Yeah.
So what?
$6 a month, you can get a safe deposit box, or cheaper even. I think the just little ones are $3 a month.
Mine's like 30.
So get this right. If you have a 2-hour fireproof safe, fires usually go for more than 2 hours. So your safe's going to be burnt anyway.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah.
Bank is good. Safe deposit box.
The safe deposit box is they have the fire suppression systems. They have the secure. That's when take it to 2.
So what if a robber gets in and steals your passphrase from your safe, from your
safe deposit box?
So if you want to be ultra cautious, put half of it in one safety deposit box.
There you go.
In another one. And I was just thinking people that do that, right? And
There's
then they gotta get in both, right? And the difficulty level of that is super high, and they're not going to do that unless you have hundreds of millions of dollars in your wallet.
Yeah. I mean, you can also memorize it, right? That's the safest place in here. But then
And,
people have
you
forgotten
get
it.
hit in the head by BitBoy. Oh wait, not by BitBoy, by Crypto Crow.
Oh man, you guys have
I want
to
to
watch.
bring it back to that for a second. I might not have it here. I might have it on my tablet. Oh no, I do have it here. So yesterday we were talking about the fight on maybe it was 2 days ago when I was streaming. Someone named Vance Legstrong had, and I assume he's been on here before. Vance Legstrong had said, Vault wants to fight you. Or he says, when are you and Vault going to fight? And then I said, like, oh, I don't think that would really ever happen. And then he goes on and says, Vault wants to fight you. And then I was like, listen, if he wants to fight, let's like for charity, and we want to do like these types of things, that's fine. We can pick a charity. And then somebody had linked me to his stream like today or yesterday or whatever, and they had said, oh, Randy wants to fight you, which I had never said that. So I think it's these people that are trying to stir the pot and cause waves. And Jordan, can you play this without getting the demonetization?
I don't care. You're right.
I care. I'm streaming.
I'll skip it in a little.
I'm interested to see what kind of shape BitBoy is on. Oh,
He had a few LBs.
These are all the highlights.
It takes him like 6 years to go from here to here. But
Okay, should I put we should put the
Wow.
full one on? This is giving too much away. You guys gotta watch it.
nice.
I feel like we can commentate it. Should we just commentate? I'll get the full one. I'll pull the full one up because
broadcast the game.
I feel like we're wrecking it by watching the shortened version.
I mean, it's fine. I feel like I haven't seen this fight, but I feel like I could see fights similar to that on World Star. It's amazing how a lot of people that don't know how to fight are so willing and ready to fight.
I think these guys have been training. These guys
Yeah,
are training.
BitBoy's clearly been training, right? And he's down a lot of weight. He was a big man, and so he's slowly been over like 2.5 years losing a bunch of it.
Right.
I got a text from Lori's husband 2 days ago saying like the queen's ready. I'll train her in case she wants to get in the ring with another gal.
We'll just watch the first round. How about that?
We are
Okay,
not
should
doing
you mute
charity BB fight. With that, Randy.
That's right. Us talking over it, we shouldn't get too much.
What I have to say about BitBoy is he is a good entertainer.
He is. So this is the opponent here, more light.
And who's the one who is the
175 pounds?
People like it late? That Armstrong.
Oh damn, he's lighter than me. Man, I feel fat AF. I'm shorter and fatter.
Up in Norlight's face. That was just,
You're remarkably healthy for a short fat guy.
Referencing. He's got a yeah.
He's all the way down to 175 at 5'10". I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
You know what,
I
George?
want to see the weigh-in on that.
Sandstorm right now.
Watching this happen tonight,
Just a little bit.
That body is not 175 pounds right there.
Yeah, I
That's like 200.
Oh, he might be. He's pretty short.
Look at
That was
There you go. Watch him, watch him
He's
go.
not- he's 5'11".
He's smiling. Good boy's smiling.
Oh, he's feeling himself a little bit. He's bouncing around. He's
Shit. Back up to his feet on the single leg.
Oh,
shit. Oh, he knows he's in the fight now.
Oh,
He's right
Did
there.
good for the haymaker.
Dude, this is a fight of the night.
Exactly.
Some dirty
Exactly.
listen to the ref guy.
This is just insane.
Boy, weights it off.
It's actually a really good fight.
We're getting our money's worth tonight.
Two guys are semi-trained.
Big shots.
I love that Charles Oliveira is sitting pitside filming this on his phone.
Is he still here?
So this is gonna George is gonna do a
Where
second
is he?
season of this, a
He's
second
sitting
round
next
of
to
it.
us.
Because he's got lots and lots of people been
Well, he
doing
goes
it
on
now.
a single
Wanting to get
again.
interactive.
Strictly speaking, you can't commit both hands on a single leg in karate combat, but
Are these 2-minute rounds?
Or 1 minute 30 seconds, I think it was.
In the poetic
This
words
is
of
Oh, no, it might be
terrible.
Brady, let's go.
2-minute round.
I like this kind of. I like the ring on this. This is pretty
We've got
cool
about
ring.
40 seconds
Yeah,
left
it's a
in this opening
karate
round
ring.
here,
It's a
and there is no semblance
really
of a
cool.
guard.
New thing they're
You
doing.
got Hedera sponsoring
Karate
this.
ring.
Brave, CRU.
I mean, they're both
That's
just
the
so
shot.
If you have the karate token, you can actually bet on who's going to win and
I
lose.
love
in the
it.
fight.
I love it.
But his looks.
If you could beat someone with a stab,
This is
that's
crypto
just it.
related, guys.
If I look really
Look
angry,
at go.
he gets you.
Smashing him.
Big
I-
shot.
This is very clubbing action.
Somebody put Jake Paul on alert. Oh my
No
God.
dirty boxing here.
What's that? No clean. No clean. Stop.
That's it.
We're down to 6
That
seconds.
round.
We're gonna go to a second round.
You guys want to go to the last round?
Let's go. Let's go. What do you guys think about that?
Lori, in the middle of that, were you getting into it, or were you like fighting off a fly?
And
No,
Armstrong
that was
versus
I was fighting
Eddie
off
in
the
Influencer Fight Club.
Okay,
Lori's prepping for
because you're
her
all.
fight.
It was a stink
This is the
bug.
last round, guys.
Oh, it's a 1 minute third round. That's amazing.
So Ben
It's a literal sprint.
technically lost the first round because of the
I mean,
knockout.
BitBoy wants this guy dead. BitBoy wants the Inu Sonic Obama token fried. Dead.
The Obama
He's not
token?
fucking around.
Yeah.
He's coming out here looking like he's
That's
3-8-3
Logan Paul's
on a
friend.
mission. Oh! This man is out
go!
for blood. I've never seen such ferocious fighting. It's like
He
Tyson
said I've
Fury.
never
Tyson
seen
Fury.
such ferocious
This
fight.
is incredible.
13
That's
seconds
a
left.
fight.
I think the Ben Armstrong is going to take it by a monumental clubbing right hand.
What's the last few seconds?
This is-
Boom!
Goes right, sir.
There you go.
That was fun.
that was a thing and a half right there.
Ben won it. Ben won it, guys. He went hard. I know. This is funny. Big boy, all coked up. He could go all night. He looks like the Cookie Monster. He does look like the Cookie Monster. This is
yeah, it's
gold.
paint and blue.
Yeah, I do like having a bit of a free range with our topics here. Like this is fun, and I didn't expect to see crypto people fighting like that. It's such a fun thing to see.
What's interesting about the crypto YouTube space, right? I put a lot of thought into this over 7 years and seeing kind of how that goes, because YouTube is one of the best places to get longer arguments heard on crypto. And so it's been a mainstay of like my education when I came into this, but like there's, YouTube algorithm rewards pumping tokens when they're up, which punishes your returns, right? Because if you're buying stuff when everyone's talking about it, you're buying it late and you're the exit liquidity for more savvy crypto investors. And so there's these incentives. In order to grow a big channel, you got to talk about stuff when they're up, because then the algorithm will push that out to everyone, because you'll be getting more views, you'll be getting more followers. And so it's been interesting to watch. So the biggest YouTube channels are usually entertainment focused that also talks about whatever's pumping and on people's minds, and you grow way bigger. And so Ben Armstrong, I remember when he had 30,000 viewers and he blew up, and kind of what he did to go that direction. But what I find about him, like, I don't listen to his opinions on crypto at all. He knows about as much about crypto as my grandma, but he's an incredible entertainer. He is just entertaining. A lot of people watch him just because they like to hear him talk. And, he's fun that way.
Laurie, you going to get in the ring with Ben Armstrong?
I would get in the ring with some people. That was a sad fight. I don't know. Maybe I'm just UFC spoiled, but like that thing, I was embarrassed.
They're
for
not UFC
both of those
fighters.
guys. Like that was rough to watch. But I want to get back to when Randy's fighting OG Vault. Wait, what?
Woo!
If it's for charity, I'll do it
It's
anytime.
not. Did he call you out though? Because I was
So
with
he-
you. That's not
he
what
didn't.
happened.
Vance Legstrong did. He's like, Vault. He said Vault wants to fight. I don't know if Vault ever said that originally.
Oh, I got you.
And
Okay.
then I was like, okay, listen, if he wants to go, like, let's do it anytime.
I don't think that'll be a fight. I think
And
that'll
then
be a
some guy named like
That's
Dan or Charlie had said on Vault stream, Randy wants to fight you. And then Vault like accepted. He's like, yo, he's short AF. I'll fight. And I feel like Vault's never been in a fight before, and he doesn't know. Yeah, this is. I'll bet my entire OMI bag on that fight.
Oh God, please.
I'll back you
I'll
up on
bet
that.
the virginity of my bunghole on that fight.
Oh God. Oh
That's
God.
how much I believe in it.
So we need to start around
Oh, God.
around the OMI around the VV fights or something.
One of your female fans is going to like take up that bet, and she's going to then rig the fight so you lose, so that she can take your virginity there.
Yeah, I could picture that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Randy
hold-
starts asking what would be the best fights, or who do I want to see fight?
So
on-
I said on that same stream that I would, knowing that I would tap, knocked out, or be otherwise incapacitated within 1 minute, likely within 30 seconds, I would fight Josh Emmett for charity.
Oh my God, you
No,
would
don't do
die.
that. Josh,
That's what I
Josh
said.
just
I would
destroy
be
anyone.
incapacitated within a minute, probably within 30 seconds. But I would do it for charity. If it's for charity, like, you know,
Randy,
I'll
you just
do
have to
anything.
run away. You just have to run and circle away constantly.
I'm interviewing him next week. I'll bring it up.
How what do you know how tall he is compared to you? And his weight?
He's a lot lighter than me. He's in very good shape. Let's Google this. We have this stack.
Josh, was it Josh Emmett?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys saw his knockout? His knockout.
He
was
is the
brutal.
top level fighter.
Yeah.
He is the real deal for sure.
He is.
Someone wants to fight Hello K. Cool Mo, is that you? You want to fight Hello K?
Oh, so he's 5'6"
He's
and
only
145.
145
Oh, he's
pounds.
5'6". He's tiny.
So I
Another
outweigh him by about 60 pounds, and I'm only 3 inches taller. But again, I'm assuming I couldn't monkey strength my way out of a hold or out of anything that he puts me in. And he still hits like a freight train. Like he's the hardest hitter.
Yes.
Laurie versus
Wait, maybe Kyle. He's smaller.
Randy versus Hello K.
That's the same as me. First of all, both of them fighting would be a much fairer fight. But again, it'd be the same.
If you can find somebody under 5'6", I'll fight them. I'm 5'4", 5'3", around there.
Well, I mean, that's not fair. You have experience,
I know.
so they could.
I didn't say anything
I'll
unfair.
send you a list, Jordan. I have a list.
This will be fun. Maybe we can do this when OMI gets bigger, and we've got instead of 150 people watching us, there's 1,500 people watching us, but we grow it out a little. We could probably join George's Fight Club. That'd be cool.
Maybe.
Where things are going to go, like I think Hikomi is going to be one of the biggest projects that people are talking about. Digital collectibles will be a huge narrative, and most people really aren't recognizing that. I think Flow will do well. I think Hikomi will do exceptionally well. And so Hikomi will become a really big deal. And being within this community, like it will blow up massive. It'll attract a lot of people who aren't into crypto so much, but come in for the Disney stuff and come in for other things. And so this community is going to get really big in the future. I think there's some potential there, right? That celebrities within the Hikomi community could do something like that and raise enough funds that it would be meaningful.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Like, do it for charity, beat each other up for charity. Why not?
I'm going to come up with a VVE,
Queen Vivi's going to set it all up. Yeah.
Do it
Because,
24/7.
Oh,
like people
Queen's
are like
Court.
me.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Queen's
wait a
Court.
minute. How
Queen's
can we
Court. And
make
you can be
money
the ref.
off of this?
Laurie's
Yeah.
the ref. Laurie's the ref.
I'm like, how can
Queen's
we
Court.
make some money off of this?
Maybe
Are you gonna
it'd be
dress
more of a
up
fair
like
fight.
you could dress up
Yeah.
like as a queen with
We'll
like
do it up.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe it'd be more of a fair fight if I did a 24-hour stream first, like leading up to it, and then I get in the ring. That'd be more fair.
Randy, do you remember that story that you told me about when you were a young boy and you got
What?
bit and you punched a woman in the face? That's
Oh,
what
wait,
Josh would
wait,
do to
can't
you.
Okay, all right. Now I've got to tell the story because Lori's making me out to be a woman attacker here. So it was 2010. I'm in my first apartment, and this girl I take back from TGI Fridays is giving me a little treat. and she doesn't, no warning. She just bites me, and I'm standing there like this, and as soon as the bite happens, I go, oh, and I just, as a reflex, and she just goes, like
you knocked her out. Nice.
so no, she just fell, and then obviously that relationship didn't last. Obviously not, but since then I don't even know I learned from this stuff. Oh, since then I have disinclined to acquiesce girls' requests to do that again. So that was a traumatic experience.
And if Josh hit you, it would be just as traumatic. So do not offer your body in the name of
I've been hit by
charity.
I've been hit by people that likely have hit as strong, if not stronger than Josh, just from boxing, but never, I imagine with he's obviously going to be, yeah, it would hurt. But if it's for charity.
UFC have very, very light gloves. So a lot of force.
That's true.
Well,
I
I've
mean,
known
boxing
Emmett for some time, and I'm not going to let him
my knuckles also, they're not normal either. Like they're not. I mean,
Rain, would you tell him? Stop.
I know he's going to win. I know it's going to be an embarrassment.
Randy.
But
get vaulting on someone.
If it's for charity, I'll do it. And
charity vault, and I'll put all the money on you.
Whatever y'all want.
I'm trying to be a good friend and help you, Randy. Do not throw your body out.
Don't fight a professional UFC fighter. It's not a good idea.
No.
Well, when Rocky Balboa entered the ring with Thunder Lips in Rocky 3, he did it for charity, and he got schwacked. He got thrown outside the ring. If that's what I need to do for charity, that's what I got to do.
As long as you realize that's a movie, then we're all good.
Thunder Lips was played by Hulk Hogan. That's a real man.
Randy versus Cavell. Oh, you know what? That would be a good match.
No, it wouldn't.
No,
none of these would be good matches.
Versus Cavell. That wouldn't be a fair fight.
At least no one gets a face hurt in that one. This is enough of the fighting. Enough of the fighting. We're gonna
love is the answer, guys.
Is there any VV drops that you guys are going for in the next few weeks?
Let's see.
We went through recently. There was
we had a couple drops this weekend, right? We had the jetpack for RoboCop where you could.
You guys get it?
I did, and I sold it and lost like $3 on the sale, but I just went for it because I don't know. I didn't have a RoboCop. Maybe get a nice mint number or something, and I just flipped that one. But what?
Stargate announced just now?
Yeah, it was announced. We'll get it on the 2nd. They did it. They just launched a YouTube video about it, so we might actually have the. If you go to VV Digital Collectibles YouTube, they just launched a video, so we might get the numbers there.
Should I chuck it up or not? What do you guys think?
What I love about all this different IP, right? Like, do I personally care much about Stargate? No. But what I love about the premium digital collectibles is that you can use some of the cool stuff and interact them together. Like some of the stuff people create in their vault using these different things is freaking unreal. So like if they do a Stargate, can you imagine what people are going to use that for to create cool art? Like it is really cool when you start mixing all these different IPs and all these different things.
Should we? Yeah. I'll put it on, shall I? I can. It's only 2 minutes. It goes for 2 minutes. Why not? We're sharing boxing. We'll share this. Okay, you guys ready?
Another VV Digital Collectibles video. Yep. We're going back to 1928. Giza. Scientists and paleontologists uncovered something strange in the desert. That's right, our friends at MGM are giving us the opportunity to celebrate the upcoming 30th anniversary of the 1994 Stargate movie. And with it, you'll get your chance to acquire your very own universe-traveling Stargate. And you'll also be able to collect Horus Honor Guards and Anubis to protect the
those look cool.
Interlopers. Released in 1994, the Stargate movie took audiences and transported them millions of light years from Earth on a wild science fiction adventure, thanks to the concept of the Stargate itself. And true to the era that this movie was created, Egyptologist Daniel Jackson would be brought in by the U.S. government blindly to start figuring out out some glyphs and different hieroglyphs, but he wouldn't know what they came from. He'd uncover that these hieroglyphs referred to distant constellations as spatial coordinates. And then Daniel Jackson would learn that these weren't hypothetical hieroglyphs from some ancient tomb. They were linked directly to a strange metal ring the government had uncovered and now had stored away in a classified research laboratory. As you probably guessed, and you Stargate fans already know, that strange ring was the Stargate. And by locking the 7 outer rings in the correct pattern, it would open a wormhole that linked to another paired Stargate somewhere in the universe. And so the very first adventure would begin in that 1994 movie, as the first ever group of people would step through the Stargate. And those explorers would also meet the other parts of this digital collectible release, the Horus Honor Guards and Anubis. The technology built into their armor, weapons, and helmets allowed them to impose Ra's will upon those people. All said, for Stargate, the 1994 movie was the genesis of the franchise. It put it on the map, and it grew that fandom. So it's wildly exciting for us here on Veve that our very first Stargate related digital collectibles are referencing that classic piece of movie and pop culture history. And that's a wrap for this video. What are your favorite?
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch Stargate? I used to watch it back in the day.
Yeah, I watched the movies, right? The series got pretty monotonous. I couldn't follow too much. I have a short attention span unless it's really gripping.
What did I walk into? It depends where you are in the video. If you're live or if you're back at the start.
Yeah, or if you're where Lori's talking about me assaulting a woman with no explanation for that.
That sounded like a accidental reflex. That was not
It was a reflex. Yeah. We're not listening to the story, Jordan?
Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. My youth was very
Did
crazy.
Did she at least finish the treat or what?
Was it? Oh, no. So this is actually the second sexcapade that happened in that apartment. I don't know if this came after. This is like a few months later in October. It was I had a Michael Myers mask, not like the comedian, like the guy, and like the horror movie Michael Myers, and I had the mask in like my bedside dresser, and I wanted to do it with a mask on. So while we're going at it, I put the mask on, and then she turned around, just like, and then she grabbed her shit and left, and I was like, sorry. I couldn't even say like, no, I'm sorry. She
didn't really monetize that of what not to do from a Tinder date.
She didn't even put on her shoes. She took her clothes, took her bag, left in my blanket, and just left. I was like, okay.
You're like, I have to sleep in the cold tonight.
So I was like, all right,
what
don't
did
do that
you do?
again.
Did you just get bored and went, well, this would be fun, and just like
I don't know. I just got when you get a new toy, you want to play with it.
We're always trying to figure out cause and effect. Why do you think like little 3-year-old boys are like doing things like, what happens when I drop this glass? So it's like cause and effect is fascinating to us.
Yeah, I mean, I just, when you get a new toy and you want to play with it, like I just got the mask like 2 days prior. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it with the mask on, and I just didn't verbalize. I didn't tell her, and then
my son found a mask of you online. You go for $3.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that mask. That's crazy. I want to buy one. I want to get a Randy mask.
Bam Bam apparently bought a bunch. She's going to bring to the next event.
Oh my god, that's so good. There's going to be Randys everywhere.
I'm like, yeah, you're not getting a Randy mask. What are you going to do with that?
That's awesome. And then hold up signs that say Cavell Anderson or whatever.
I confuse everyone.
With Randy masks on.
Yeah, like, I'm not getting compensated for this. Like, I'm not getting paid for it. So I don't know. I don't know who made that, where it's from, but yeah, apparently.
That's funny.
You have a mask.
One of your female fans of the hundreds and thousands there will be out there.
Oh, Planet Vampire got one. It's shipped today, apparently. I can't wait to see pics of that. What people do.
We should get a comic, a Veve comic for Randy with all his
all his love stories. Really, that's what you call it? A love story?
It has love in it.
I was with a one-night stand and I was bored, so I put on a mask.
I
It was
never
a second date, right?
I never intend for these things to be one night stands. I think my most embarrassing was it was like a year prior to this when I didn't ban that certain activity, and I was just so tired at the end of the day, and we were watching like a Steven Seagal movie, and while she was performing, I was like kind of falling asleep but trying to stay awake, and I just said like, I wish you were Steven Seagal. I don't know what I was trying to say, but
Oh my God.
that's what I end up saying. And
Randy,
same
these
thing.
stories are getting better and better.
It just didn't, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So most of these one night
Well,
stands, I didn't plan for them to happen that way. It just
as this
just
person
left.
says, we need to refocus.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Drops. Yeah, drops. We also we had another drop. What was our other drop, Randy, on Saturday?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Rain, we've got Omicron here saying you said there's a chance, 70% chance Omi hits 100 billion market cap. Can you elaborate why?
Oh,
Yeah. So crypto runs in narratives and people come in for narratives. And so like sometimes it's frustrating because like the deeper substantive projects, sometimes they do well, but they don't do as well as something that just has a good narrative. And so OMI has deep substance to it and like a great narrative. So when people come in, there'll be a lot of people that come in that aren't interested in whatever techie thing that like they can't understand or wrap their mind around, but they're like Disney collectibles. Oh, these cool things. And imagine social media will blow up with people doing fun videos with their OMI / Veve collections. And so OMI will go crazy in ways people don't understand. And it will hit market caps it shouldn't hit. The same thing happened with Ripple in 2017. Ripple hit a market cap of like 300 something million. It vastly surpassed Ethereum's market cap. And it wasn't ready for that. I mean, the technology wasn't ready to be deployed. And yet it just hit this narrative that people are like, yeah, Ripple. So the same thing is likely to happen with OMI / Veve, in my opinion. And the right things are setting up for this to happen. So a lot of people will disagree with me, and maybe I'm wrong. But I think there's at least a 70% chance it hits that kind of market cap. And people want to argue with me on that. My first question to them is, how long you been in crypto? Because usually their answer is not even longer than 3 years. So like wait till you've had like 5 or 6 years in crypto and then give me a substantive analysis on why you think it won't. And we can debate that. Cool. But if they haven't even been here through a bear market, prepping for a bull market, they do not know what happens in these bull runs. It is not logical. It's emotional. That's why.
Awesome. Well, I really hope you're right because that would be very, very nice for my OMI bags.
Yeah.
And Randy, you just keep picking up more. Are you projected out that if OMI stays down for longer, you're going to end up with maybe 200 million OMI?
Yes.
That's a plan?
If it stays down at 001 or below, there's a very real chance that I can get up 200 million, and nice. I'd be, oh God, so excited. I remember telling Lori about this the other day. I was like, oh, I could actually get a lot of, but then something had to get approved for me to get a certain amount, and then it was approved, but at a lower number. But yeah, I'll always get as much as I can. I will get, yeah. So that'll be great. I'll join the ranks of greatness.
Awesome. I think Veve Bam Bam's getting some Randy Chavez masks too. I wonder who did that. It's probably a good product. It's probably selling a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder where overseas.
That's so funny.
Like, I wonder what, like, could be like the Netherlands, could be Australia, could be Africa. I'm trying to think who knows those places.
We're already at almost an hour and 15 minutes. I think that at the end of last show, Randy, you weren't here last week. We did like a little section where we went through and sort of dropped some of our favorite crypto projects. Obviously, ones that aren't OMI, because obviously OMI is our number one, our bay, right? But there's so maybe I'll go first and just say, sort of my top 3 that I'm really, really liking lately has been Solidus AI Tech. I'm not sure how you say that exactly, but AI Tech is the token. MCADE, which is stands for Medicaid, which is a really good gaming hub platform. And the third one would be Epico. You guys know I love my Epico token and the Epico project, and they're releasing. They just released a trailer for another game they're building. and like more of like an open world game. And that's really cool. Laurie, is anything you want to mention?
Nothing new. Nothing
Nothing
than the
new?
normal.
Rain, what about you?
Well, so I'm a big fan of Bumper, who you guys interviewed, so I'm price sensitive. As prices go way up, it's like less interesting to me. Miria seems to, I was hoping Miria would come back down cheaper. It's kind of stabilized. It might not come down cheaper than this. I like Miria and Cetus both. Unfortunately, they're not at the prices they were back in last October. They got really, really juicy. Another one that's on my mind is the Flow blockchain. And I think Flow is going to have some tremendous pickup in the future. And so some people are looking for something they can easily buy on Coinbase. And like, is Coinbase secure? As you're seeing, exchanges aren't secure. Yes, Coinbase more secure than BitForex, but exchanges can be hacked. And so you have to choose where your level of risk is going to be. So Coinbase is probably like 20 times harder to hack than BitForex, but it could be hacked. But if you're looking for an exchange that's safer than most of the other ones out there, probably Coinbase. The problem with Coinbase is most of the stuff that's already on it, the market caps don't make sense versus their potential. Like they might only have 5 or 10 or 20 or 15x gains left. Particularly where Flow blockchain is, I think it's still pretty juicy. So I like Flow. People that don't know that much about crypto, they're like, oh, if you were in my position, what would you buy? And I say, I'll never tell you what to buy. But if I were in that position, but knowing what I know about crypto and I just couldn't get into it very deep, I would just be buying Flow on Coinbase.
Do you know what the market cap is roughly of Flow right now?
Yeah, it's under $1 billion. It's kind of high, but people don't understand what digital collectibles is going to do. Is the masses?
Yeah, it could do a 10x easy, right? Easily get to 10 billion. Maybe
if it only does a 10x, I will be like, "What the f happened?"
Well, because
that would be a disappointment if it only does a 10x.
Because last bullet went to like 30 something billion, right?
Yeah,
so it should at least do a 30.
Right now, I guess they're at 1.6 billion. They have been climbing. They were at 90 cents recently.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it
got $7
last month. Yeah.
In fact, they would have been so they were at 70 cents. That's when I last looked at their market cap, and their market cap was about $1 billion at that time. Now it's 1.6 billion. Still, shoot, that's not quite as juicy as it was, but it's still got like 30, 40, 50, 60x potential. So for something like that is lower risk on an exchange that's lower risk, and keep in mind, everything in crypto is effing high risk. So when I say lower risk, it's just lower risk than all the other stuff, but it's all risky. So it can still have really big upsides from here. Just the digital collectibles narrative hasn't hit, but when it does, everyone's going to be talking about these VV collectibles. They're going to be talking about NBA Top Shots, NFL All Day, UFC Strike, all this stuff. And all these people know nothing about crypto will be throwing money in like crazy.
Awesome. And Randy, do you have any tokens that you want to promote?
And my meatloaf, because you took the words right out of my mouth. It was, I mean, that's it. Like you said, NBA Top Shots, NFL All Day, and UFC Strike. I mean, one of our own, Josh Emmett's on UFC Strike. So even if we do get a deal with VV, it won't be a first appearance of his on the blockchain. And I feel like VV is, if we're going to have two different sets of things, like New York Comic-Con is for nerds, and the Super Bowl is for jocks. But at the end of the day, if people just nerd out on different things. People go to a place where they pretend to be someone else because they wear somebody else's name, wear someone else's jersey. They pregame in the parking lot. They go and they get super high energy about it. We're like the New York Comic-Con as VV, and Flow would be like, for the jocks. So is there going to be some crossover? Sure. But I think that's likely going to be the only other one that I would buy outside of this. And yes, if Pokemon were to ever go and do anything by themselves, yeah, I would get some of those also. Thanks, Walrus King.
Yeah, you saw Walrus King. Yeah, he's in Australia.
Maybe so. My current lady friend is actually watching this, and she's like, I can't believe you're talking about all these stories back then. I was like, oh, geez.
Oh no, what have you done? Oh, this is fourth bull run. Well, I mean, the first bull run was just Bitcoin, right? There was nothing else. If this is the fourth one, that's crazy being around for that many runs.
It's not the last one because, like, the pendulum swings too far each way. The pendulums, I mean, real estate has been cycling since the beginning of real estate value. So it's like, will it run as high or swing as low? Less. It'll be less, but there will still be plenty of money to make. So say on average, you could have made 50x if you were investing well and stuff and like hedging your risk just right, and you were a savvy crypto investor and you average 50x. Maybe the next one might be 36x with just as smart investments. Okay, so where the F else are you going to get those kind of gains over a 4-year period? Not in stocks, not even in real estate.
Oh, I have another one that originally, up until recently, it's really just been a metaverse company, which is Earth 2, but they've been putting out skins, and each of the drops would be, they'd make a couple grand. I mean, they'd sell out, but they would just make a couple grand. They wouldn't be that much. But they just released like these gold skins and this other skin, and they made like 56 grand in one day. So that's definitely something to watch
Earth
as well.
2? This is Earth 2?
Earth 2, yeah. So, yeah. And that was their first real foray into digital collectibles. Like, again, they have these skins and they have other stuff, but this type of thing is really, because they have a lot more users than Veve. They have like
Is there a date on their token release? Because I know we're waiting.
Yes, they will. Well, they'll have the March 28th, I think, is their full white paper, and then at or around the Bitcoin halving, so late April, early May, we'll get the launch of their token.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
So, and that'd be. I wish they would have gone on and released sooner, because I would love to get OMI down here because I have about 40,000 of their Essence tokens. But likely, what'll happen is OMI will be like 003 by then, and I might actually even sell a little bit of that for some Earth 2, depending on what they release at.
Well, it looks like they're really releasing right before the bull run, so it's fairly smart timing, I think. But it sucks for people that want to get, like you said, do some arbitrage or whatever it is. Tour Dance asks Randy if you can ask Josh if he'll wear some Veve clothes next fight. Look,
Yeah,
I
sure.
think he's UFC, right? All his
Yeah.
clothes is sponsored, so I don't think he can't choose what he wears. But
Yeah, I mean, unless to become a sponsor. But I mean, he's posted on Instagram in Veve clothes before. And I mean, he goes, and if he's doing, these types of interviews with me, Lauren, whoever else, he's clearly open to him doing, being associated with us fairly openly.
he could probably wear like a Veve like wristband or like a headband or something that has something Veve related, right? Like not necessarily his like actual outfit, which
Yeah,
I think
he actually signed the card that made its way to eBay now. It's a 1 of 10, and he signed it as an OMI homie. I'm trying to find it. I think on eBay they're asking like $1,000 for it. I don't know exactly how much they'll get, but even if they get half, if they get 500, I kind of want it. It's if I wasn't getting more OMI right now, I would get it, but it is him literally signing it as an OMI homie. Oh, here it is.
awesome, nice. OMI homie, yeah, that's wicked.
I thought that was cool.
That's really cool. I was going to say as well, Rain, you mentioned Bump earlier, and Randy and I did a big interview with Jonathan from Bumper, the CEO, and yeah, he was really, really, really good. If anybody's interested at all in the Bump token and what the whole protocol and everything's about, definitely check out our interview from yesterday. Randy and I managed to ask some really good questions and got a lot of good information out. I've had some good comments and people that say they now understand it all, and they actually had the token already, but they didn't understand it. Now they understand it more. They've actually bought more, and I actually bought more yesterday as well. So I'm holding over 100,000 Bumper tokens now.
Jonathan is exceptionally bright, and I like good leaders in good companies, and he articulates why it is like Bumper is special and what it is they're doing and why it's needed, because they're dealing in like price protection for things. And often we don't think about those. Like when you're running $100 million hedge fund, you think about that kind of stuff. But if you're not, you don't usually think about that stuff. So as he's explaining it, you're like, oh my gosh, I understand the need for this. And a lot of what we do in the crypto space is just early stage business investment within the blockchain space. I mean, that's really why there's so much value here. Like all this weird crypto stuff that's like doesn't really do anything or it's just for fun. I don't touch any of that stuff. I'm looking for early stage business investment with business use cases that really solve a problem. And Bumper is trying to solve a very real problem. And that like they have a good team. They're solving a very real problem. I don't know if it'll come together, but that's the type of crypto projects I invest in because their potential for success is much, much higher than like this magic internet money meme coin stuff. And so I'm looking for projects like that. And if they end up coming together, then the multiples can go to 500x, 1000x, 2000x. And so then I spread my investment across companies like that. OMI is another one of those projects that I think solves a really cool problem of bringing collectibles to the digital space with top brands. And so that's why I'm here in the OMI space. Why? Because I'm an investor and this is the type of stuff I like.
Awesome. Well, I think we're pretty much done for the day. Everyone want to give their parting words? Queen Veve, do you want to go first and leave everyone with some good information?
And Queen Veve, you're on mute, so unmute yourself.
Thank you. I've been fighting with a stink bug that is dive bombing me in the side of the head.
I've seen,
so have you guys seen that?
Randy's like, what is going on? I can see his face.
I haven't seen the bug. I've just seen you like freaking out, like you're on acid or something.
It's a stink bug and it's huge. I don't know if you guys have those things. I don't know.
Australia.
It's like this big bug that comes out when it gets warm. And today in PA, it's like 65. So
Lori, you weren't supposed to take that acid till after the stream.
Oh, I swear to God, it's a real bug. And it just
what color is the bug?
I'm sure it feels real, Lori.
This is fun.
When you kill them, they're really stinky, hence the stink bug. So yeah, I had one dive bombing me, but no, I just kind of want to close on shout out to everybody that did have their stuff on the exchange. It sucks. It's life, and we'll just have to kind of deal with it and be glad you're not Rain with 30 on there, because that's kind of how I'm taking it away. Like it could be worse. But fortunately Rain has it all over the place, so it's not so bad. But feel for everybody out there, but we're still in the Wild West, right? I mean, we're still in the early days, and the riskier, the better the reward. So you can put it in a bank and get your 1%, or you can put it in crypto and potentially get 150%. So
yeah.
Or 1,000% or zero. Rain.
Yeah, like this is dangerous waters, and I like dangerous waters. I like that there's risk here because otherwise there would not be such potential reward. So some people come into space thinking, oh, it's all upside. It's not. There are plenty of risks, and there are plenty of people. In fact, the numbers are pretty bad as far as who does well in the crypto space. About 95% don't do very well. They do mediocre or even poorly. About 5% do exceptional in this space. And the 5% learn to think differently than the other 95% do. And so it's like, what do those 5% do? What do they do differently? Well, when bad days like this happen, it's like getting stabbed with a knife. If you have a lot of money on BitForex, you feel like you just got stabbed with a knife because financially you did. And so it's like, what do you do? Like lie on the ground, or do you pick yourself up and keep harvesting? Well, my choice is pick myself up and keep harvesting because I know what's coming in the next 10 months, and it's going to be huge. It'll make the losses that you could have experienced from this look small compared to the gains that you could have. And I say could because some people are just going to lie on the ground and they're going to complain about how bad their life is. And that's not the real tragedy. The real tragedy is that they're going to waste this coming 10 months because the potential for that is far bigger than what they probably lost on BitForex. And maybe BitForex maybe you get some of that back. I mean, there's always that chance. I don't know. But like you just I'm just setting that aside and not worrying about that and just trying to make better decisions and different decisions going forward.
Awesome. Just before I get Randy to give his parting words, anyone who's keeping any tokens on any exchanges, please take them off. Learn the lesson, guys. It's really important. I actually just took a whole bunch of mine off yesterday as well, of some things like Ascendex, definitely recommend it. Randy, what's your parting words to the people?
It's just something I wrote a little bit before on Twitter, saying the last 2 days there have been two groups of very vocal people regarding OMI. Those that have been panic selling and dragging others down with them, and those that have been saying, hey, me and my other wealthy individuals have been buying this dip because nothing's changed about the roadmap, parent company, or fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that everyone remembers who was in those groups and how to differentiate between those two.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so again, everything we say is not financial advice. Just want to say it. And yeah, good luck to everybody. You know, for people that have lost crypto, you know, it's a very tough lesson. Make sure we learn from it and not keep things on exchanges. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate your time. Appreciate all my guests, Queen Veve, Crypto Rain, The Real Run, Chavez. Thanks for spending your time on here.
Super chats.
Really love it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
And